Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? We're back to the funky camera angle SLDLs. First recorded set of the lift. I'm gonna get this warm-up set, and I'm gonna get into the first topic of discussion today. But we finally got lifting straps for this, so we're gonna see how it goes. Whew. Alright. Oh, I forgot to say that warm-up weight's 135. Okay. I'm gonna throw a 25 on for now. We'll build up to 225 at the end. Whew. Okay, I'll turn back on the camera when I got 225 put on. I got the weight on. I didn't mean 225, I meant 185. But one thing I will say that, it doesn't really annoy me, but I feel like people just complain for no reason, really, is when people look at an upper lower split and they're like, oh, the upper day is so long compared to the lower. But you can make the lower day as equal to the upper day in terms of length. And I'm not saying spend a long time on each exercise, but you could keep the same amount of exercises for each, or well, close to. I can't say completely, because I don't have a complete one-to-one of a certain amount of exercises on my upper day and a certain amount on my lower day. But people are like, oh, the upper day is 20 or is an hour and the lower is 20 minutes. I want to say I have 10 or 12 different exercises throughout the entire lower, and 14 on my upper. So I'm a little bit of a maximalist in terms of how many sets I'm doing. But I think a lot of people, when they're like, oh, the lower day's so short, they just don't hit every muscle group. For me, I do 2 exercises each of quads, glutes, hamstrings, calves, and abs. Okay, so 10 exercises throughout the day. But a lot, I don't really know people's splits. I'm not the person to be looking at splits. But the people who complain about that lower day being so short, I doubt they're hitting every single muscle group, and I doubt the ratio is not 1-to-1, or well, it's not close to 1-to-1, I should say, from the upper day and the lower day. So, if you don't want to hit glutes because you think it's weird, be comfortable in your own skin and hit glutes. I know pretty much all of my friends who go to the gym somewhat consistently don't hit glutes intentionally. Maybe they're hitting it with leg press and squats and all that, but they're not going out of their way to isolate a glute exercise. But like I said, be comfortable. At the end of the day, that's gains on the table. And maybe I'm not the best person to be talking about gains, considering I'm not the most filled out frame in the world, and I'm not the biggest guy in the world. But, given the amount of time that other bodybuilders would have, or other fitness influencers in this space, I bet you I'll have just as good, maybe slightly worse, maybe slightly better, depends on the person. I bet you I'll have a physique like that in due time, and I diet properly. Those are the only things that I feel might negatively affect me, but nothing crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna get this first working set out of the way. I'll try and go to failure, if not close to failure. Like I said at the start of this clip, We got 185 on the bar. My guess is I could probably do like 8.
Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna avoid it entirely.
I gotta work on my grip there. My grip was really starting to fall apart those last, like, I want to say 2 reps. I feel like it was mostly just my fingers holding onto that bar. All right, well, I'm gonna load up 225 officially this time. I'll turn back on the camera when I got that all set up. All right, we got 225 on now. Whew. Okay, a little bit of a hassle there. But I am happy I added SLDLs to my split. I find these probably my favorite exercise of the entire lower day. Even though, one thing I will say, I feel like I'm way weaker on a lift like this. Wait, hold on, my plates are uneven. All right. Whew. But yeah, probably one of my favorite exercises I've added, mainly because it does hit a little bit of back. You know, I when I usually do my upper day, I really only have a lat pull down and a row, so I'm not really hitting my lower back much. But you know, luckily, some back is being hit with this, which I'm not really the person to, you know, worry about crossover fatigue and stuff like that. I find a lot of people kind of use crossover fatigue as a way to just skip muscle groups. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong there, but like, able to hit my lower back somewhat well. You know, based off of what I've read, this is still more of a hamstring exercise than a back exercise, but it still hits the back quite well, mainly like I said, the lower back. So, when you guys eventually see me back in Planet Fitness, or even at the home gym, I'll probably do an SLDL. You know, especially considering Planet Fitness still has, you know, or well, recently changed to have actual barbells instead of just whatever. But, you know, now I need to think of more stuff to talk about. That was me going over that lower day was pretty much all I had planned. What else could I talk about? I guess I could give my little disclaimer. If you guys want to hear my opinion on something you think is interesting or something you just want to, you know, get some information on, leave your questions in the comments. We most likely have similar interests, as, you know, you're watching me. I'm not the biggest YouTuber in the world. So we probably have somewhat similar interests. So chances are I'll know what to say for your question. Secondly, I'm just going to say thank you guys still for the support. Mainly the Yeet review. I didn't expect that to do so well. You know, and it annoys me because that's the one, like, somewhat sponsored post. It's not really sponsored, but I made it. I put like a fake sponsorship at the start for my friend. Like my 4th most popular video, excluding shorts. It is my only advertising video, technically. Like that. I shouldn't say it's annoying. I could really care less about it. But like, I feel like I have much better videos than that one. Like, I couldn't name it off the top of my head, but I feel like the review was very, wasn't really like too well developed. I feel like I was really just giving like really quick thoughts, which, to be fair, that review was on the fly. Like I said in that video, the album literally came out as I was lifting. So I figured, why not get some kind of review. I like to review albums anyways. Although I don't have an album of the year or something like that. Oh, secondly, not sure if you guys will see, but I recently shaved my peach fuzz mustache. So I low-key look ugly now. But it's all right. I don't think it was so noticeable that I go from like normie to subhuman. But maybe I did. Maybe the looks maxing community would call me subhuman. It's such a crazy term, in my opinion. Like it's almost like a like so derogatory that I'm both. I don't really know how to explain it, I guess. So maybe it's not derogatory, but like you're like people who call people subhuman are basically saying that they're below man, but we're all still human at the end of the day. So like it's derogatory in that kind of sense. It's like you're so ugly that you're not even a human. Like I find that a little crazy. But maybe I just don't know what they mean by definition. Like I know it's a looks thing. But maybe they just use it as a way to. Maybe they have a different term, but that's more just semantic stuff than anything. Anyways, I low-key just went on a little bit of a rant there, but I'm gonna do my last working set here. Like I said, at the end of this clip or of last clip and this clip, we got 225 on the bar. I don't know how much I'm gonna do or how many reps I'm gonna do. But I'm going to try to go to failure. And then we'll film another exercise and we'll call it a day. Wait. My AirPods are falling out. I really need to get a pair of headphones. All right. Okay. A little bit of a grind for that last rep. So I'd say I was close to failure there. Anyways, I'll turn back on the camera when I got another exercise ready. And I'll see you guys then. Am I subhuman? Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? We got the second filmed exercise of today. We got leg extension, as per usual. I'm gonna get this warm-up set out of the way, and hopefully I have something to talk about. Because I'll be honest, I have nothing on my head right now. So, hopefully I think of something. Right now we got 75 pounds on the machine. Just do my warm-up. Alright. A little bit of a shorter warm-up for me, I feel like. I'm just going to have 235 for now. My calves are hurting a little bit. But, I guess, usually I don't like to talk about stuff that's kind of just like a 2-minute thought. But, like, I don't understand, like, people who use DuckDuckGo. You know, I see, like, tons of people using DuckDuckGo. Like I know my 9th grade earth science teacher used DuckDuckGo, and I know like their whole thing is like your internet provider can't see what you're looking at, which incognito mode doesn't do that if you're like on Google or something like that. But like, what are you doing that you know they have to make sure that your internet provider doesn't see it or something like that? I know my ninth grade teacher also said something that was like Google will intentionally like hide things from you. I don't know how true that is. Like, to my knowledge, um, that could just not be real. I have no proof to say it is true, and I have no proof to say that it isn't true. But like, I feel like if you really need to hide something from your internet provider, you got some issues. Whether it's some not safe for work sites, or you're just doing weird shit on the internet. I'd take a good look at yourself if you're trying to hide stuff from your internet provider. Which, then again, I'm gonna say privacy is still a good thing. I want to make that clear. But like, I think it's a little too far. Little too far to go to have your privacy if you're using a website so that your internet provider can't see messed up. But that's my opinion. At the end of the day, I'm just not going to trust you. What else can I talk about? See, guys, I'm really running out of ideas here. This is like, I bet you this is why I'm not the most successful in the world. I'm not the most successful in the YouTube space. It's just because I have nothing to talk about. One thing I guess I could talk about, is although I haven't edited the 30 days that I said I was going to edit, and it's been about 2 weeks since the last video, or the last day of that. I've been thinking about all the different clips and all the different just all the different days and what happened. Now I really feel like there's not like so much eventful stuff that happened then. Like I feel like obviously there was stuff with like my bicep at one point. There was stuff in my legs at one point. But like, besides those two, actually also my tricep had a little bit of pain at one point. But like, besides those three, I really don't know what else was like super monumental. I mean, I guess you could say like the physique checks. But I've talked about how I really think the only thing that changed within my physique that was like noticeable was just my back. Like, I feel like my lats are a lot more dominant after the 30 days, and it's probably because I prioritized them a little bit. I put them at the start of the workouts, so it probably got some decent growth for me just being like most prepared. But actually, with that being said, I know this is a little off track, and maybe I'm going on a tangent here, or not a tangent, but like just like a side note. But Monday, this upcoming Monday, you guys are gonna get a physique check. So we'll see how the physique's looking, or well, the upper half of the physique's looking. I'm not willing to take off the shorts, not yet. I'm not like worried about my lower body. Like I feel like, honestly, I feel like my lower body is a little bit more dominant than my upper body. But I just feel like I don't know enough poses. Like I all I know is that I can flex my quad a little bit. I don't really know any other pose for legs. Maybe if there is more poses than just flexing your quads, let me know. But like, also one thing, I don't like my legs for one reason and one reason only, and that's because whenever I do flex my quad, the outer portions of my quad are so far extended compared to my inner quad that it looks so unproportional, which is that's one of the reasons why I actually switched switched my switched to an upper lower split because I wanted to make sure I'm hitting all my muscle groups to try and make it a little bit more proportionally like correct in my leg area. Maybe it's just because maybe actually I don't know. I don't know why it's so improportionate besides me just hitting my whatever the outer quad muscle is way more than my inner quad stuff. But like the only thing I really changed is, like I said, I do glute exercises. I do both hip abductor and adductor, and then if we're going like nitpicky, I guess, my SLDLs also hit my glutes. So hopefully, by like next year, my legs are a bit more proportioned out. That's my hope. We'll see when time comes, and hopefully one other thing is that my frame is just overall built out. It could just be because I'm fat. Like I do have I want to say I'm definitely in like the 20% plus. I want to say I'm 26%, but I've seen a bunch of stuff that's like, oh, you're 20% body fat if you could see some muscle definition. I don't know how true that is, but I have a good feeling I'm 25% body fat. Man, I really just went on a rant right there for going over my editing stuff. But here, let me get back to the editing stuff. I don't want to go too far on the rant here. But I just have a question, and that's, do you guys think there was more eventful stuff in the 30 days? And secondly, is it even worth editing all those days down into one like hour-long video? Because at the end of the day, I don't know how many of you guys would actually watch it. But then again, it was also, nothing like out of this world in terms of content. Because, to be honest, I feel like that little 30-day stretch, although I had like that one like really good video in terms of viewership, like a lot of those videos performed really poorly compared to like the videos before and the videos I'm even making right now. Like the videos I've been making recently, the reason I've been kind of supporting you or like thanking you guys so much for how much you've been watching or how many people have been watching, it's just because like if you take a look at like the last week of me doing this program, or even like the week before that, and you compare it to the 2 weeks that I have done this upper lower split, like there's a lot more viewers, or a lot more views in general. And I don't know if that's for maybe you guys just enjoy what I'm talking about more. Maybe there's more variety. I don't know. But I feel like you guys are definitely liking it more now, and I don't really know why. Anyways, I went on a really, really long rant there. How long is this? We're already 10 minutes into this little clip, and I haven't even hit a working set. So, my bad, guys, for wasting your time a little bit. Not really wasting your time, but, my bad for not going the first working set. I'm going to do it now. If you guys don't, I haven't figured out. And then maybe I'll have other stuff to talk about, but I don't know. Whew. I'm going to strap up. You guys can't see it, but I got my lifting straps ready. They're locked and loaded, I guess. Like I said, after the warm-up set, we got 235 on the machine. I don't know how many reps I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try and get close or to failure. Then we'll go from there. All right. Okay. Whew. I don't know how I felt about that set right there. I feel like I could have done a little bit more. I feel like maybe I could have gotten better range of motion. But not the worst set I've ever had. I am gonna go up in weight. Go to 250. Oh, I actually lied about the working set. I always forget about the increment weights, but it was actually 240, not 235. So sorry to all the people who I lied to right there. At the end of the day, I don't know how many people will watch this, which I guess one thing I've been thinking about recently, and another question for you guys is, I've been reconsidering making more short form stuff. More really just today than any other day. Like I really haven't thought about it until now, or well, not now, but today. But I feel like I should make some kind of short form content. I feel like although it's not the most enjoyable for me, I feel like if I spent a little bit more time thinking of a topic to talk about, similar to I guess Jacob Ostraker, where just sit in my room and complain about something about the gym, or some idea that people have in the gym, and either say it's a good thing or a bad thing, and then tell you why it's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like maybe I do that, maybe not, I don't know. But I feel like I need to do it, in a sense. And the only thing that there's actually a couple things kind of holding me back from actually, taking the time to actually do that. Because I'm not, one thing I feel like most people would think is oh, you're in college. But I've talked about this multiple times. I have tons of free time in the day, which, how I spend that free time isn't the best, I'll say. I feel like a lot of the times I'm spending it just on my phone scrolling or playing Subnautica. But I feel like I could at least take an hour and a half maybe to think of something that's like a hot take or something like that. Or I shouldn't even say hot take, just my thoughts on some kind of thought in the gym. And then I'll post that. But the things that really are holding me back is I saw one Dexerto article. Actually, let me preface this. This is the one that I'm out of the two reasons I have, this is the one that's very much I'm willing to change my mind on, because I don't know enough in terms of this. But I saw a Dexerto article that said that there was a study that heavy use of short form content lowers your frontal lobe or your brain cognitivity. And one thing I don't like is I don't really want to contribute to that. I think, I'll be honest, I think a lot of people in this world are dumb. So maybe that's me being a little egotistical. Maybe that's me, not knowing enough people. But I think a lot of people make some stupid decisions and are very irrational in how they attack things. And I feel like if I were to add to frontal lobe, a decrease in frontal lobe cognitivity, I'm not really solving an issue that I think is an issue. I'm just kind of adding more to it. So that's my argument, just for that. But like the big thing is like nerves. Like well, even with like these YouTube videos, I think one of the reasons I'm a lot more comfortable to do long form than short form is because I know there's a much smaller audience for short form or for long form. There's a much smaller audience because at the end of the day, like you can even just see it in the short form videos that I do have compared to the long form that I have. Like my average views on my short form stuff. Like I know there's the one really really low performing one, but like most of them have 800 views. So like, there's obviously a much larger audience compared to my average views of like, I want to say like 20 to 40 on these long form videos. So like, that's a little bit scary to me. And then also, I guess it's more just me kind of being worried that I'm gonna be judged by people I know. I think when it comes to I guess hate comments in a way, like I don't really find hate comments like too crazy, something to worry about, because at the end of the day, I don't know who these people are. And some people might be like, oh, I can't handle hate comments, but like one reason I feel like judgment is such like a scary thing is a lot of people could put like a name to their face, and that's why I think a lot of people are scared to start in general. Is they're afraid of the people who they can put a name to a face to, and they're worried about what they'll say. Not really worried about what the people they can't put a face to. What they can't put a face to will say, but rather the people that they know that could judge them. And I think I'm at least somewhat worried about that. Like for my close friends, like for example Brody, like that's someone I'm not really worried about what he says. Like if it's criticism, I'm more than willing to hear him out. But like if it's just like a hate comment, like I'm not gonna care if Brody says something that is so like I don't know, maybe he says to well, he says you're boring, which I'll be honest, he's not wrong. But like I'm not gonna care as much compared to someone who I know, but I don't talk to them. I'm a lot more worried of what they would say. And maybe that's me kind of just wanting to not be judged. But I feel like that's really just I don't really know how to put it, actually. I feel like I'm not articulating this the best. But like my non-close friends, like people from my high school mainly, like those are the people I'm like worried are gonna say some shit, if that makes sense. Like when it comes to editing, which obviously I don't do much of, but when it comes to editing, when it comes to actually producing the content, and when it comes to being on camera, it's really easy for me to do that. But when there's a face that I can put to like a judgment, or a face that I could see that can judge, I guess, it makes it a lot more difficult for me to actually, produce what I want to produce, I guess. Like I was scared to share this stuff with my mom because I thought she was gonna judge me negatively. Which, you know, if you think about it now, like I don't even know why my mom would negatively judge me. My mom has always been so supportive of everything I've done. Like even with the drop shipping stuff that I used to do, which was very, very low quality, very like no wonder it didn't do well. But like my mom was still supportive of that. She bought three of the products I made, and she even helped me make some products. She's always been such a supportive part of my life, but I was still kind of worried that she would judge me negatively. I don't really know I don't know the argument behind, or like the if there's like a psychological thing behind that, or like a name behind that. But that's one, like the biggest reason I really am worried to post short form stuff on YouTube and even like Instagram. Like Instagram, I don't really use TikTok in general. I've kind of stuck by that. But like Instagram, like there's a much bigger audience in short form stuff in Instagram than YouTube or YouTube Shorts. So like, if I didn't have the nerves, I feel like if I didn't have the nerves, I would probably post. And in some sense, it's also that one study that could be real, and honestly, it could not be real. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what study they're talking about. Oh, it's 10. Damn, I've been wasting time. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah. I guess next question for you guys, and maybe you have some advice as well for me to, if you think I should do short form content. But my question is, do you guys think I should do short form, and it probably wouldn't be like how I did it originally. Like I said, it would probably be more like a Jacob Oestreicher, where I just go over like a topic that I think is important for me to go over, and give why I think you should do this instead of that. But like, if you guys want me to do that, let me know. I know my mom would probably text me if this. I feel like this is something she's more willing to help me out on. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, if you guys want me to, I'll probably post a poll on YouTube once I upload this video. I'll do that, and then I'll also ask you guys if you I guess my next question is just if you have any advice to get over those nerves, really, which maybe it might seem like I don't really have those nerves, even though I did go over them. Just because I'm on camera right now for the long form, I already gave you my reasons why I find this a lot easier. But like nerves is like the biggest thing holding me back for pretty much all my content. But if you have any like way for me to, I guess, either not think about it as much, or kind of have a better understanding of what people are actually thinking, leave it in the comments. And then third question, should I post on Instagram? I don't know. I feel like that also kind of coincides with the nerves thing more than anything, if I do short form. But yeah, I'll be asking you guys if it's probably at least somewhat more digestible than these long videos, and it would definitely help with my overall success. I know that. So maybe I'm just holding myself back. I don't know. But I'm gonna finish this out here. We got 250 on the machine. We'll do my reps, and then we'll end the video there. All right. I don't know how many I'm gonna do, but you guys know I usually try to go 2 or close to failure. So we'll see. Okay. That third rep was rough. I did not control it at all. But that's it for the video, guys. Sorry if this is a really long. Oh my god, this is almost 30-minute long clip here. But that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe. You know, comment anything you want me to talk about. Share it with your favorite friends and coworkers. If you want to follow me on other platforms, there'll be a link tree in the description where you can follow my Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch. And make sure you guys do your laundry. And I'll see you guys Thursday. See ya.